All right, so today's lecture is going to be regarding workers' participation in management, and that specific topic was included in our syllabus from 2019 onwards. Okay, previous to that, there was it was not specifically there, but nowadays this is very important to go through. And HRM is never considered to be over until and unless we go through from the concept of workers' participation in management. In yesterday's video lecture, that was actually part of today videos. We have already delivered two lectures regarding all these things. These are what they are. They basically means that what are industrial relations, what are different aspects, what are the different actors of that. And after that, I have taught you regarding how the dispute arise between the different actors of the industrial relations. And after that, most importantly, we have understood relating to how the process is there by which we can solve the industrial dispute. That thing I have already taught you. And in yesterday's lecture, we have already gone through from trade union concept as well. Why we studied all that? The only reason was we wanted to know that what is the level of workers' participation in management. So this video lecture is going to be very important, okay? And most importantly, I'm going to tell you this is the thing that none kind of conceptuality is there. Merely lines are there, okay? I shall tell you what are different aspects or approaches for workers' union, workers' participation in management, and what are the different ways by which you can participate in the management if you are a worker, and what are the different practices around the world and specifically in India as well, by which we can ensure that there is the complete kind of workers' participation in management. So this is the description of a whole of the lecture of today. Just going to share what we have prepared for you. I shall not go through line by line, okay, because this is just a theoretical portion. None kind of a conceptuality is there. And if we feel that we must go through from a specific thing, like what are the dates for different ways of workers' participation in management, we shall go through the dates as well and some kind of functions as well. Otherwise, this is just the process of one or two readings. Otherwise, that's very easy to understand. So we are going to talk about workers' participation in management in today's video. Specifically, we shall be talking about India and what is the level of workers' participation in management in context of India. So first of all, you must know about somewhat history of workers' participation in management. That actually started by Mahatma Gandhi 1920 in textile mills of Ahmedabad. So there are some historical chronologies which you have to go through, okay? And this is as it is, you have to understand, you have to go through. In 1958, Tisco company established a joint committee for workers, okay, so that they can also participate in company's affair. Then there was the setup of Industrial Dispute Act 1947 in India, which that also gave importance to Works Committee, which referred to the workers' participation in management. Then Industrial Policy 1948 came into existence. It also suggested that labor should be involved in all matters relating to production. So that was somewhat history, but that's not over here. Number of plans also suggested these kind of things. Like the first 5-year plan also emphasized the role of a constitution of joint committees. After that, there was second 5-year plan. It gave more detailed and philosophy regarding workers' management relationships. So that was the role of different plans, and there are some other perspective as well. After within the time frame of a second 5-year plan, there was the another resolution of industrial policy, which is famously known as Industrial Policy Resolution of 1956. And it gave importance to workers' participation in management. Then a study group was also set up for experts group was set up in 1956 as well, gave some kind of recommendations regarding how workers can be made participated in management. Then in third 5-year plan, again, workers' participations was given much importance, that the establishment of industrial democracy shall be possible only if workers have participation. Again, in the fourth 5-year plan, it urged the extension of workers' participation to public sector as well. So these were some important lines of a historical perspective regarding workers' participation in management in India. So that was all that. But I think in paragraphs, in the notes, in paragraph mode, all these things have been written. By you must read at least 1 or 2 times all these things. Okay, only then you shall be able to comprehend all those things. After that, we have to understand regarding some of the committees formed in India for workers' participation in management. There have been, after independence, there have been some renowned committees, okay, which were formed for the purpose of making recommendations, okay, for making recommendations on the basis of a present structure of worker participation in India and how that can be improved further. So there had been some committees which are very important one to go through and understand. So one by one, I shall be telling you all, and we have not included their complete recommendations because they are very they are almost similar in a relation to each other. Okay, and I believe that including all those things in the slides in the writing mode, it's not a viable thing. Okay, what my purpose should be, my purpose should only be to tell you how you can go through and what are these contained. So the first committee was Sachar Committee on Workers' Participation. In 1977 June, the Indian government set up high-powered expert committee, okay, on companies and MRTP acts under the chairmanship of Rajinder Sachar. He was the name of the person with whom's name the committee was formed, and they did thorough study on the present structure in India regarding the workers' participation in management, and they recommended a number of things like there should be the work committees, there should be the joint councils, there should be the plant councils. These kind of things they have suggested, which specifically we have not included in this specific slide, okay, because it would be a complete rush. By 1 or 2 reading would be enough. That the question cannot be very specific, like which recommendation was given by whom, okay. So it cannot be very specific, but still at least to one committee you have to go through recommendation, because these are almost similar in nature, but committees can be different. Recommendations are almost similar for everyone. So that was first committee, that was Sachar Committee. After that, there was Verma Committee. Okay, Janta government found that. That was found in September 1977 again. It was found under the chairmanship of Ravindra Verma. He was the then Union Minister for Labor, and it submitted its report on 1979, and they also gave some kind of recommendations, and they told how there can be the further and more participations of workers in the management. So in this way we can get to know that there had been some renowned committees. I think 1 or 2 are still left. Now after that, there was the participation of workers in management bill 1990. Okay, that bill was passed in the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha as well. Okay, so the proposal took the form of a bill, and that bill was known as Participation of Workers Management Bill 1990. It was introduced in a Rajya Sabha on 30th of May 1990. And this bill provided meaningful participation of workers in management from shop floor, means to say from the basic plant level where they are actually doing the job, from the shop floor to the board level. They should have participation at all levels. Okay, as defined under the Industrial Dispute Act 1947. So this bill was very much statutory and in nature, and it aimed at a legislative bill backing. So that was also the system of how the workers' participation in management was ensured in India. Then I think these were the renowned committees only, and that was a renowned bill. Now you have to understand how the workers' participation can be made possible in the organization. You have to understand all this lecture from the point of view of a worker and organization. Okay, so there are 5 levels by which you can ensure that the workers are actually participating in the management. The first level is information participation. When there is management and there are employees or workers, when the employees regularly get the information about whatever is happening in the organization or the board level, they get the information only, they do not participate in any kind of decision making purpose. When they regularly get the information only regarding all the developments in the organization, that is known as information participation. Then the second one is consultative importance. In this, what happens? The management consult the employees as well for taking some kind of decisions, but only the consultation is done. Their decision or their suggestion is approved or not approved, that is basically ultimately in the hands of management only. So they are just consulted, and this is the second level of participation of workers in the management. The third is associative participation. In that kind of situation, the management tells the decision to the employee and they are consulted, and to some extent their decision or their suggestions are followed up. So this kind of situation happens in the third one, and this is associative participation. And this is the fourth one, this is administrative participation. Here the employees are told that you can take a decision to some level on the basis of the authority, to the level of the authorities assigned to you. You can take the decision regarding your own work structure or your own work environment, and this is known as administrative participation. Like the employees are said that you can take at least 60 to 70% daily decisions regarding your department at your own. You can take these. And the last one is a decisive participation, in which the employees are given complete freedom to participate in the decision making regarding whatever the work they are performing or whatever the department they belongs to. So these are 5 level of workers participation in management. The first was informative, then consultative, then associative, then administrative, and last one was a decisive participation. So I think that was enough regarding that. So in this video we have studied 3 important things. The fourth one is yet to come, and that is most important one. So the first I have taught you regarding what is the workers participation in management and what has been the historical perspective of workers participation in management. After that we have studied regarding the committees, that was Sachar committee, Verma committee, and participation of workers in management bill 1990. After that we have studied regarding the different levels of management participation of workers. Now the last point or the last thing, which is the longer than all, okay, and this is the forms of workers participation in management. Okay, so that was just the levels. Okay, that was just the levels at what level the workers can participate, but this form that shall actually tell you how the employees or the workers can be made participated. So this tells us about different methods, different ways, or different forms by which employees or the workers are made participated in the management. So now we shall tell you regarding different forms, and I must tell you that these are important to go through. Okay, so what you have to do, you must need to remember their names, then their reason why they are found, then to some extent, not fully, but to some extent, their functions as well. What do they perform? Okay, there can be large number of functions for a specific form or way of how the workers are participated. You are not supposed to cram all, but you must go through from all, so that you can differentiate between the different forms of how the workers are made participated. So now just going to show you how they are made participated. The first participation is made in the form of works committee. So what is this? That was given in that was started with the start of Industrial Dispute Act 1947. So it was stated in the act that in case of any industrial establishment in which 100 or more workers are employed, okay, in the preceding 12 months, the appropriate government may order to constitute in the prescribed manner a works committee consisting representative of employers and workmen. So what does this specific thing is? So it tells you that if there are more than 100 employees in the organization or the company, okay, if they are working, then within the past 1 year, if there have been 100 or more than 100 employees working, then there should be a formation of a work committee, and it should consist of representatives of employers and workmen. So that is called work committee. Okay, work committee is simply a committee which is formed in the organization in which 100 or more workers worked in the previous 12 years. So it was all about that. Now we move further and see what is there. So work committee can have officers, office bearers, the like presidents, vice president, secretary, joint secretary, or anything can be. Okay. Then president can be the nominee of employer and the vice president is the workers representative. So that is the kind of a structure, and this structure you have to you have to cram. Okay, you have to cram or you have to understand, and it's not difficult to understand. These are just mere lines. Okay, so the first line tells you how many officers are there. Second tells you who can be the nominee. The third tell you who can be the vice president. Fourth tells you that this body has a time period of 2 years tenure of these bodies, like nominee and vice president have tenure of 2 years. Then total strength cannot exceed 20 for work committee. A representative has to be chosen by employees. Okay, so that was the structure regarding work committee, which you have to understand, which you have to go through. So the first way or first form for workers participation in management was works committee. Now the second one is joint management council. Okay, joint management council. So they were set up after 1958 or around that period. So they tell you, in case you are employing 500 or more workers, 500 or more workers. I think I am getting trouble from one of the participant. Can you please off your audio of your cell phone so that I can deliver the lecture peacefully? All right, thank you. Now I just tell you what's the meaning of a joint management council is. Okay, we talked about work committee that was constituted if the number of workers are more than 100. But in case the number of workers are more than 500, there should be the joint management council as suggested by the act. So it's just now again the structure of that. Members should be actually engaged in the unit. Council shall have period of 2 years. There should be the chief executive of unit, and he shall be chairman. Vice chairman can be nominated by workers. Then one member shall be secretary. Joint council shall meet once in a quarter only. Okay. Then every decision will be based on consensus and not voting. Decision will be implemented in 1 month. So this is the structure and the system regarding joint management council, and maybe there are some more things as well which you have to go through. Okay, we have already given you number of things, regarding what are these, and these shall be delivered to you. Okay, but I think that was sufficient as well. Still, I would suggest you what we go through, you have to go from the written notes as well for 1 or 2 times. Yet each and everything has been covered. After joint management council, there is the third way or third form of workers participation in management. This is known as a joint production committee. What is this? This committee consists of equal number of representative of management and union. Okay, management and union both have the same number of representatives. Generally, these are the functions of the committee. Okay, what does this committee actually do? So they study the operational results. So the first job of a joint production committee is to study operational result and a departmental production problems. And their job is also to advise management on steps necessary at a departmental level as well. So these are the things we have to understand and we have to go through. So, all right. So joint production council is the council which is created by having the equal number of representatives of management and the union, and they are the number of in number of industries nowadays there are joint production committees. Okay, so as the name suggests, their basic purpose is only to see the production or operational results and make suggestions regarding the department level promotion and rationalization of production. Then there is the fourth one, I think. This is the unit council. This is the fourth way or fourth form of workers' participation in management. So that was motivated by the success of a joint council in manufacturing and mining unit. And the new scheme was there. Okay, new scheme of workers' participation in management in commercial and services management in public sector. So they just suggested you that in case of the industries having large scale dealings with the public was announced on, so its formation or its system was announced on 5th of January 1977. And they told that all the industrial units specifically engaged in manufacturing and mining units, there should be the separate unit council. Okay, so that unit council shall employ its member shall be 12, and they shall see all the issues relating to workers and management. So in any of the organization which is employing at least 100 people, and this is engaged in manufacturing and mining units, so there shall be the separate adjustment or the organization of a unit council which shall have at least 12 members and not more than 12 members, and they shall see the issues relating to management and the workers. So this is again some kind of a structure or a detail regarding unit council. Okay, so what is this? We just go through. Okay, so every decision of a unit council shall be implemented by the parties within a month. Okay, then unit council once formed shall continue for a period of 3 years. They shall meet at least once a month. All decision of unit council shall be on basis of a consensus, not by voting. There shall be a chairman, there shall be a nominee. Okay, the workers can elect their vice chairman as well. So this is the structure regarding unit council, which we have understood. Then they are its function. I'm not going to go through from each and every one. Okay, so just giving you some information. I believe that these are easy to understand and go through. Unit council has basic functions like they create conditions for maximum efficiency and better customer services. They identify the areas of inferior services and take actions. They study the absenteeism problem regarding workers. They suggest improvement in working conditions such as light, dust, noise, etc. So these are the things we have to understand. And the other functions of unit council are like ensuring of a proper flow of communication, recommendation and improve safety measures, then uh, discuss any other matter which is relating to customer services, then eliminate any kind of pilferage and any kind of corruption. So these are details regarding unit council. So I think I have taught you regarding 4 or 5 different forms of how the workers are made participated in the management. The fifth one is plant council, and this is also very important. Very important. Specifically, once I have experienced question from the plant council was asked. Plant council was formed in pursuance of recommendations of the second meeting of a group of labor at New Delhi in 1985. So this is history regarding that. So this is applicable to all central public services undertakings. Okay, so there shall be one plant council for whole unit. So what is the plant council? We shall see as per its structure. Okay, plant council, what is this? Plant council shall have at least 6 members, not less than 6 members, not more than 18 members. There should be parity between a representative of both the parties. 1/3 of employees representative should be at supervisory level. Then members of a council who are actually engaged, they shall be made the part of the council, and their tenure shall be for the period of 3 years. That means the members of the council shall have period of tenure of 3 years. Then it shall have a chief executive, and there shall be chairman as well. Okay, he shall be the chairman. Vice president shall be there, that shall be elected from employees. Then it shall appoint one of its member as a secretary. If a person quit, then the member can fill the mid-term causal vacancy as well. Okay, and he shall serve till the unexpired period term of the council. So this was regarding plant council. Some more details are there. Why we have written a lot of things regarding plant council? The only reason that because specifically I have experienced only this was asked. Others were not asked specifically or individually. Members of a plant council shall meet once in a quarter. Then each decision shall be on the basis of a consensus and shall be binding as well. Then the decision shall be implemented within a one month, and all these things. Now, most important thing you have to understand, these are functional areas of a plant council, which I think we have included a lot of things. So the plant council perform their functions in different areas, like in operational areas. First, there are operational areas, functions of a plant council. So what do they perform? They just determine the productivity schemes. Okay, then they just plan and implement the monthly targets and schedule. They just plan the supply and prevent shortfalls. They just take look of on housekeeping activities of workers. They just try to improve production in general and critical areas. So these are the functions of a plant council under operational areas. The second one are the function of a plant council under economic and financial areas. They just create P&L statement and balance sheet. They just review operating expenses. They just try to find the performance in financial terms. They just take care of personal economic matters. So these are the second areas of the functions of plant council. The third are welfare areas in which the plant council has to play roles. They just implement welfare schemes such as medical benefits. They just take care of safety measures. They just take care of a township administration for the workers. So all these things are covered under the welfare areas or the job performed by the plant council. So I think that was the much more detail than needed. So the next way or the next form of how the employees or the workers are made participated in the management is shop council. Okay, this is a shop council. This is the next one. We have studied a lot in this lecture. Okay, like works committee, joint production committee, I've taught you. Then I have taught you regarding unit council, all the lastly plant council. Now this is shop council. I think sixth or seventh form or way of how the workers are made participated. So the system of shop council was adopted in October 1975. It tells you that industrial unit employing more than 500 units shall have a shop council for each department or shop, or one council for more than one department or shop, as the case may be. Okay, so this is just a shop council definition, that industrial unit shall have shop council for each department, or one for at least 2 or 3 departments, the industry unit which is employing more than 500 employees. So now we see what is further in shop council. Shop council shall have equal number of representation of employers than workers. Then it shall have all members, all the members of shop council shall be from the unit concerned, like from that same department. Okay, then number of a shop council can be determined, shop council member can be determined by consultation, but it cannot be more than 12 members. Okay, so this is the detail regarding shop council which you have to understand and go through. Then decision again is made by the shop council on consensus basis. Every decision shall be implemented within 1 month. Okay, then once a council is formed, it shall run for 2 years. Then it can meet as frequently as, but at least once a month. Okay, so it shall have a management, chairman and vice chairman by worker members. So this was the structure regarding shop council. Now we have to understand regarding the different functions of the shop council. So what does they actually do? They assist management in achieving production target. They improve productivity and efficiency and eliminate wastage. They try to identify area of low productivity and improve them. They just try to identify area of low production at all levels and eliminate relevant contributing factors, and they try to eliminate all those factors who are producing loss in the production. Then they also adopt the safety measures for the workers. They assist for the general discipline in the shop as well. They ensure the physical condition of working as well. They ensure two-way communication between workers and the employees as well. Workers and employers organization. So these are the major functions being performed by the shop council, which you have to understand. Now this is the sixth, I think eighth or ninth one. This is that is also one of the most important form of how workers are made participated in the organization. Okay, so what is there? We just go through and we try to see what is there in this specific topic. So this is workers representation on board of the management. This is very simple to understand. Okay, like there are a board of directors. Nowadays there are number of laws like Industrial Dispute Act, and different version of this are there, which emphasize that the workers should be made participated in the board as well. Okay, so if there are 7 members in the board of directors, the Indian laws tells that at least 1 or 2, or as the case may be, there shall be the members who are representing the workers or workers committee. So this is known as the workers representation on the board of the management. Board simply means board of directors. That means the workers should have their representation at the higher level or structure in the board. So now we see what is there in that. On the recommendations of administrative reform commissions made in its report on public sector undertaking, the government of India accepted in principle that representatives of workers should be taken to on the board of directors of a public sector enterprises. Okay, So government of India has taken this decision so that the workers are participated in the board of directors of public sector enterprises. So the representative of workers on board should be those actually working in the enterprise. The next one, this is the important one, the structure of workers representation. Worker representation on board shall be limited to companies which employ 1,000 or more persons. So this is the first condition. Workers participation on the board can be ensured only in the companies which are employing more than 1,000 employees. Okay, if 50% of workers vote through secret ballot in favor of participation, then the company is under legal binding to introduce this scheme. So there shall be the voting, and 51, if 51% of the workers vote in the favor of part of their participation in the board, then there shall be their participation, and one member shall be made permanent in the board of directors who shall participate on behalf of the workers. So this was the another way of how workers are made participated in the organization. So next one, if we go through, this is that workers participation in share capital. So this is the next, I think this is the last way or the last form of how the workers are made participated in the organization. Okay, so what is this? We have to understand and we have to go through. So in this case, if you have gone through from the concept of right issues at the time of your graduation or post graduation, if you have gone through from that specific topic, right issue is just the right of existing shareholders or employees to take the future issue of share capital whenever company makes it. Okay, so the first preference is always to the employees or the existing shareholders. So this scheme is also regarding the workers participation in share capital. So it just tells you that workers should be given option to purchase the share in the share capital of the company in lieu of their services without any cash payment. Okay, so when you offer to your workers the membership or the authority or simply the ownership in the company to the extent they are holding the share capital, then in this way you can make the better kind of workers participation in the management. Okay, because they shall feel the ownership in the company. So what is suggested that in kind of some events in India, like festival events or any event, or when the employee has performed well for the productivity, he should be offered some kind of rewards, which can be in the form of a share in the share capital of the company, so that he can have the feeling of ownership in the company. So it is all about that. Okay. Such committee in its reports observed that majority of organizations are in favor of workers participation in share capital, and that future issues of share, the company should reserve a portion of new shares exclusively for workers. So it was all the information regarding what we wish to give you in this specific lecture. I hope you would have understood. Okay, so that was a lot to go through, a lot to read, and still these are not complete. This is the only reason why we have already taken 2 lectures yesterday for today. Okay, so there were in total 3 lectures for paper second today. These were assigned today's day, but we have already taken these yesterday, so that's why now it's not burdenizing you. We shall send you all the 3 lectures as soon as possible. And regarding the next lecture, we shall inform you via WhatsApp. And I hope you would have understood and you would have gone through what I wish to teach you in this specific lecture. In the coming days as well, that will be the situation. I hope you understand, the only reason being that there are the large topics we have to go through. If you go through from the syllabus, there is only one word written. Okay, what is this? Workers participation in management, and there is none kind of a definition of that. Okay, industrial relation have not been written at all in the syllabus, but we did that. Okay, because I believe that I shall teach you each and everything necessary for qualifying the examination, and you can expect to qualify only if you go through as per our instructions. So this is why it can happen in the future as well, that we are delivering advanced videos, or we are doing in a way that we record the video for you before it's assigned and we just delivered it to you. So I hope you would have enjoyed this lecture a lot. Next lecture is not going to be taken because that has already been taken. And regarding the next lecture of tomorrow, we shall be intimated you via WhatsApp. Thank you so much for joining me in this video lecture. This is Gurpal Singh from Gursul Education.